Man, we rocking and rolling, guys. What up, man? We back with another episode of Resiliency Cam, man. We got Tone in the building. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might know him as Creditgotti. You know what I'm saying, man? You know, how you feeling tonight, man?
I'm feeling amazing. Highly blessed, highly favored. I mean, anytime we here, anytime that I'm able to just share some value, I mean, it's something in which, is on my heart, and I'm just grateful to be here.
Heck yeah, man. Like I said, I just appreciate you for, just trusting in me, you know what I'm saying? Also, too, like filling that slot, too, man. Some of y'all gonna miss out, man. Y'all gonna wish y'all would have filled them slots. I promise that. Like, when the platform get to, where we supposed to be, man, y'all might know him, too, as Credit Gotti, man. He go by Credit Gotti, you know what I'm saying, man? How did you get into the credit?
How did I get into credit? Beautiful question. I mean, really just working on my own, above all else. Just trial and error with mine, and then just starting to work with my families. Seeing the importance of getting your credit right. I've always been in the financial literacy space. I got started in a network marketing company, a financial literacy company, in which it educated you on trading. That really got my mindset shifted from the athlete mindset because, being an athlete, when you're playing the game, that's really all you know. You don't know what you don't know. Right. So when I was invested into playing sports, that's all that I knew. And in 2019, I got started in the entrepreneurship space. And then 2020, I started working on mine, my parents, and then just being able to see the results from mine. That was what really got me started with everything.
Right. And I know, sometimes, hey, can I ask you to, just scoot up some? And, just face into the mic. That'd be doper, you know what I'm saying? So, I got to ask, man, because, I remember just being in my psychology relationship class and, the teacher was just saying, for athletes, the toughest days is just redefining who you are. Talk about, what was that process like for you, after sports was over, just redefining who you were?
It was tough. The beginning was tough, but one thing I really feel that helped me see a tremendous leap was finding a mentor. That's something that I believe everybody needs to do, is find a mentor. A mentor is truly a time machine on where you're looking to get. It's somebody that's already been through the trials and tribulations in which you're going to grow through. And I don't say go through because I don't advise anybody just to go through anything, but grow through everything, whether it's good, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, grow through it. And me finding a mentor after me not playing sports, because we've always had a coach playing sports, and that mentor is like that coach, and it keeps you on your P's and Q's and doing the things in which you were doing as an athlete. Having that accountability partner, so having that mentor definitely changed everything and sparked everything for me.
Right. No, man, it's definitely, it made me think of, my dad used to always tell me when I was a kid, he's like, Trell, people learn two ways, and, you learn from either going through it or you learn from someone who's been through it. So, like you say, just having that mentorship just helps with, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm going to learn from him. He been there. He's made the mistakes. He's made the mistakes, and, he's where I want to be in this life. So
come on. And why go through something in which, once again, somebody's already been through the things in which, so a lot of times people talk about the best lessons are from your failure. No, learn from others. Learn from other people's failures. Right, and I feel as if those are the best lessons. Learning from those that, once again, have already been where you're looking to get. Why reinvent the wheel when the wheel's already been invented?
That's real. Man, I love it, man. You out here, just speaking facts, man. And then, explain to a lot of people who don't know about credit and, what that can do for you. You know what I mean? Because I got a lot of shit to learn, too, as well when it comes to that.
Yeah, definitely. So as far as credit, many people think if we Google credit right now, maybe you can pull out your phone and Google credit. A lot of people think that we're getting lended money from these banks when a lot of times that we don't know that the money's truly coming from us. So this dates back to just understanding our history and understanding that the United States truly has no lawful money. Right. The only lawful money that's a part of the Constitution is gold. And ever since we've been taking off the gold standard since 1933, there's been no lawful money in circulation.
Right.
1933, the United States Corporation took place in their fifth international bankruptcy. Mm-hmm. And once again, I stated the United States Corporation because we got to remember within this corporation in which we live in, there's two different governments. There's the United States of America and there's the United States. The United States of America is what the Constitution, the original Constitution, was signed as in 1776, and that's the United States of America, and that's a republic. That's a de jure republic, and that's where we're free and we're sovereign. Now, a corporation was incorporated in 1871 under the Act of 1871, and that's the United States of America. And you guys can go all look that up in 28 USC 3002, number 15, and that would define the United States as a federal corporation. And once we understand that as a federal corporation, the sole purpose of a business is to create revenue.
Right.
And the money that comes from consumers. So we are consumers within this corporation. And the moment that we understand that we're consumers, and as a consumer, we hold all of the rights and all of the power. If I go to Walmart, at Walmart, without you consumers, there's no more Walmart. There's no more business. So we got to look at the United States no different than Walmart, because they're a corporation no different than these other corporations. They're simply just a piece of paper.
That's real. That can change a lot, especially when you start looking at it from that perspective.
And so I look up credit right now, and it talks about the ability of a consumer to obtain goods or services before payment, based on the trust that payment will be made in the future. Now, if we understand that the definition of credit and pursuant to 15 U.S.C. 1602 is the right granted by a creditor to incur payments or debt, or to incur or defer payments of debt.
Right.
So once again, it's the right granted. It's not a privilege, but yet they're denying us credit. We can't get denied for our credits if we understand consumer law, and that's where I differentiate from a lot of people that are teaching credit out there, because I go deep into the law. I show people the black and white, what Congress is telling us, not what these books and these gurus are telling us, but simply what Congress is telling us.
No, man, that's real right there. And then, man, let me ask, man, like you guys started the whole the training, not for everybody, you know what I mean? Just talk about that, and just talk about that importance on just giving back to the people that's coming behind us.
Definitely. I once heard, if you truly want to change the world, it starts with the youth.
Right.
And me and my brother were just masterminding. My goal and my mission, in which I believe I was sent down here for, is to empower and enrich 1 billion lives.
Right.
My ancestors have told me, it's been proven and confirmed many times that.
Can you scoot up just a little closer on the mic?
Yeah, definitely.
You saw you just sound a little.
Yeah, a lot better.
It'll help. Yeah, it'll help with that.
Okay. Yeah, so my goal, my mission is to empower, enrich, and educate 1 billion lives. And my ancestors have made that very clear. And one of the ways me and my brothers are always just getting creative with different ways in which we can just give. We're constantly just giving, and we're go-givers. And that's what I like to call ourselves, as go-givers. We're always giving forward. Even in times in which we don't always have, we're giving. Like my mom always says, my brother and me would give our shirt off our back to our people just to see them, doing well. So,
that's real.
We're even giving at times in which we don't, have all the time. So,
Not just
and when it came to the, working with the youth and the brand, we just wanted to get back to the youth and just, show them a different way. And that's truly when I believe are the most important developmental times is, within our youth, our first, 10 years. That's when our brain is developing, our subconscious mind. We got two brains, a subconscious mind and a conscious mind. And when that subconscious mind is the most important thing, that's our habitual behavior. And as we grow up into men and women, down the road, we act off the subconscious mind, not even knowing. And that comes from our first 10 years of development.
That's real.
Our habits, our thoughts. And, I just want to change a kid's, thinking pattern, show them different ways, show them that once you just tap in inwardly, you'll find all the answers, Forget all this external stuff in which we're seeing on social media. Just, disconnect from it all and just tap within yourself, and you'll find all the answers.
Right. No, man, that's real, man. I love that answer. And then, just to ask, because I heard you, about being go-givers, how do you find that balance of, knowing when to give and, like, knowing when not to, because sometimes I feel like, having a big heart sometimes, we can, just like you say, it be in situations where you really don't got it, but you still giving. And, it's like in the book I was reading, boundaries, man, when to say yes, when to say no. I would tell everybody, I just, like, free promote that book, right? But it's all good. I would tell anybody to read it because it was just talking about just setting boundaries in your life, you know what I mean? Because we'll give, and then we'll always say yes, and then, like, we feel drained, and it goes back to just being a cheerful giver, just really just, go ahead and answer that question for me. How do you find that balance, man? Because I feel like it has to be a balance, man. You got to know when to take care of you and when not to, and, certain things like that.
The law of reciprocation. Individuals, they giving things back. It don't got to be in a form of money. It doesn't have to be in a form, but it's a form of respect. It's a form of, the little things,
time, all that.
Time,
right?
Yeah. When you're there, you're positive. You're giving out ideas. You're not just draining. You're not being negative. You're not taking away from things. You're keeping and you're adding to. You're not just taking away. They're adding to something. So And the moment that I feel as if somebody's just taking away and just taking and taking, and then not adding nothing to the table, that's the moment in which I feel like, they become cut off, and we don't. It's just frequencies. It just doesn't align anymore. It's energy. Everything is energy, and they're just not on the same frequency. If they can add and boost and raise my level of vibration, I simply just don't want you. I don't want you around me. Everything we're right now in a spiritual warfare, and you really got to protect your energy. We all got passwords on our phone, but not everybody's got passwords on our energy. And we gotta have passwords there.
I like that. He said we got passwords on our phone, but we don't got passwords on our energy. And man, like that's big, because like I say, you can do certain things, and like I say, you can find yourself feeling drained, man. So that's really, man, that's big right there.
That's real, super real.
Man, no, I definitely like that one, bro. He said you definitely gotta put that passcode on your energy, bro. And then just. Man, speaking on all that, I'm like, man, that's just dope right there. Let me ask, man, talk about like, that resilience in your life, and, just going through trials and tribulations. What did that do for you? Like, how did that shape you to, where you are at today?
Man, I would say I got the chills with you asking that.
Right.
Truly. And I would say my whole life has just been me being battle tested.
Right.
And I would say that, and I've heard many times that God gives his toughest battles to his toughest soldiers, and he wouldn't give you or put you through anything in which you couldn't get through. And I believe truly my biggest years and my biggest outbreaks have always been after the hardest times, have always been after the, the biggest struggles and the most struggles, and, life hitting me and me trying to figure out why, and me not understanding truly, why things are hitting me, and it's jab after jab that I'm getting, but I always look at life, and since I've, truly just found myself, I've just came to just learn from things and learn from what life is teaching me. So when things do get tough, I just know that, that's God telling me things are knocking and blessings are right around the corner.
Right. And it just made me think back to, like, this clip I posted on my story earlier. It was like, 501 Baby was like, like, you gotta thug it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he like, like once you thug it out, like you strong enough to, like, when that situation come again, I can handle that because I've been through that before. You know what I mean?
Been here before.
Just going back to that, like, that thugging it out. And, it just made me think, too, like Rocky said in the movie, and, like, it always stuck with me when I was a kid. Like, he say, like, life not about how hard you can throw a punch, it's about how hard you can take one. You know what I mean? So it's just about, just getting back up, bro. You feel me? Like, the whole, resilience and things like that, man.
It's a marathon.
Nah, for real, bro. And then, like, man, I would ask, like, just even, for a lot of you who don't know, just going to Big Bro, BJ, bro, like, talk about, like, what's that experience has, been like, and, just really just living in the definition of, just being my brother's keeper.
Yeah. I mean, this goes back.
Hey, shout out to BJ, man. If y'all don't know BJ, man, that's
BJ.
That's Mr. 28 game back in high school, man. All that.
Come on, they don't know. Pull up the tape.
Yeah.
Best point guard out of McClintock. Best point guard truly out of Tempe Union District, I believe. Pull up the tape, pull up the numbers.
Right.
Numbers don't lie. Men and women lie, numbers don't lie.
Right.
But, about BJ, about his story, man, there's so many places to start, and I believe that, I'm excited for him to get on this platform.
Right, that's why I say he gonna tell his story. Like, that's why I wanted, like, just for you, like what's that experience like? Just seeing brother like that, things like that. Because I know for me, like, when I seen him, like, I'm like, first off, you ain't say nothing. Like, what the hell? Like, I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, definitely. But it just teach me. I know for me, like, just to be grateful.
Definitely,
just to be grateful.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll give you guys a quick, backstory. 2 years ago, and yeah, my brother was going back to go train to go play college basketball. A lot of people don't know he was actually going to train to play at the same college in which I was at the University of Mary. I was playing college ball out there my freshman year, and I remember he'd call me, FaceTime me all the time, and he'd be like, "Yo, I'm about to be out there," or it was either that school or our rival. And we would FaceTime, and he'd be working, and I know he's working, and we're across the country, and even though we're across the country, we're still connected. It don't matter where we're at. Ever since we've been born, we've been together. People always call me his mini-me. We would be in the gym together.
You see, I walked in here and I said, this BJ. I already told her that was BJ. I'm like, this is BJ right here, too. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Shout out to...
You can't say BJ without Tone. You can't say Tone without BJ.
Yeah, right. And shout out to Robbie, Kaylani. They behind the cameras, man. They doing their thing right now. So, man, we appreciate y'all on that.
Definitely. But, yeah, just going through being my brother's keeper, being in the gym with him, just being in the trenches with him. Above all else, like, You know, like Drake says, you wasn't with us shooting in the gym. Like,
Come
nobody was
on.
with us shooting in the gym at all. We was in there hours and hours, and I mean, countless hours in which we had put in, and just being around him. And like I said, I'm not going to be around anybody that's not going to add to me, and that's just something he's instilled into me. We didn't always hang around people. We weren't just hanging around just to hang around. We were always working towards something because we knew we had somewhere to get. We know we had shit to get done. We know we had people to take care of, and just at a young age, like, he just instilled that in me, and he just instilled that fight and that hunger in me. And I mean, he's just the definition of fighting, and his whole story, his whole life, I mean, it's just fighting and overcoming. And, you know, like you said, it's not about, you know, how hard you can hit, but how hard you can take a hit. And he's taking many hits and many blows, but through them all, we get back up. And, you know, you fall 10, we're going to get back 8, and we're gonna keep going, and we're going to stay resilient. And we understand, we see the long term, we see the vision, and we don't look at ourselves for where we're at now, but more so where we're going. And, you know, that's the thing that I feel is as if that separates us from, you know, a lot of people is we're not looking at ourselves now. We're not worried about, you know, the whip we're in or the situation in which or the circumstance. We know where we're headed, and that's all that matters.
That's real. And, like, you know, just hearing that, it made me think back to, you know, when I did the, you know, interview with my cousin P5. Shout out to P5, man. He killing it, you know, with the music, you know, just all the great collabs. Kalen, for real, all those guys. You know, he said something that stuck with me. He was like, you know, you can't be a product of your environment. You got to be a product of your decisions. You know what I mean? So it just made me think back to, like you were saying, like, we're not looking at the now. We looking at the future. Like, we looking at those decisions that are going to get us to where we want to be. And let me ask you, man, like, how important is it to, like, are you a big believer in manifesting?
Definitely.
Okay.
Everything.
And how important is that? You know, because, you know, you got some people who not. So that's why I had to ask, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I truly believe that within the Bible, and I'm not a big Bible individual. I'm really big on many stories and just being open to, you know, many stories. And there's so many stories in which the Bible, in which we know of today, that are left out of the Bible, in which we know of today, in which that are not talked about. In books in which, you know, I like to get into, in books in where these, you know, the Bible and the Torah and the Quran are coming from. And those are the books I like to come from. You know, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And that's where I always like to stem, is from the root of everything. And I've tapped in with the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, and, you know, that's really, truly helped to send my spirituality. But manifestation, I mean, it's everything. I mean, it states it within the Bible once again, as far as we were created in God's image.
That's real.
You know, and it states over 100 times, you know, the power of I am. And anything you put after I am is what you create. And we have the ability to alter and create our reality from the power of our mind, you know, the power of thought. You know, a lot of people talk about darkness, but everything comes from darkness. If you close your eyes, what do you see? Right. Darkness. And from there, you know, you spark something with the light of energy. Right? In order to create that light of energy, though, it comes from the darkness. And you got to understand that there's duality to everything. There's light and there's darkness to each and every one of us. And you got to tap into that dark energy to create things, to create, you know, your reality. And you got to go out and you got to visualize. And Kobe used to visualize every single night before he went to bed. Right. He used to visualize himself scoring hundreds of points, the smell of the arena, the sound of the crowd going crazy. You know, every little thing, every little detail, he would envision it. He would already see himself as if it's already done. And once again, that's going back to our story. We're not looking at our circumstance. We're not looking at where we're at now, because, you know, spiritually, we're not even here. We're in a whole nother place. We're already in our goals. You know, one thing in which, you know, my boy Isaiah, one of the boys in which we mentor, one of our college athletes, he had told me is, yo, Tone, everything that we see, bro, is fake. It's an illusion. The moment you close your eyes and what you see in there, that's reality. Yeah,
I had seen a post. It was like, you know, what's the saying that says, you know, don't believe half you hear and don't believe like what you see, something like similar to that. And I'm like, that's real.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Your sixth sense.
Right.
Your sixth sense, that intuition, that third eye that they talk about, that's within, you know, all of these depictions of these ancient, you know, drawings and everything.
And you know, like, it just made me think too, bro, because like to be able to see, like you say, like they say, don't believe half of what you hear, don't believe, you know, everything you see. Like, you gotta be woke to see those type of things, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you got a lot of false prophets. You got a lot of people that can lead you the wrong way.
Definitely.
If you're not on the, you know what I'm saying, like on that right path. Like you say, like it just made me think of dark and lightness. You know, like it says in the Bible, like when you're in the dark, you don't want to hang out with nobody in the light. And I'm like, it's real, because like it'll expose you, feel me? It'll expose certain things. And, you know, that's how people get, you know, taken advantage of and things like that, man. You know, just being woke, bro. So I love how...
Definitely.
man, woke you are, bro. You know what I mean?
Level of awareness. That's everything. This whole life is consciousness. This whole life is about, where are you to the abundance in which already is there, to you already being that in which you are desiring to be. I am that already.
Right.
There is nothing to become. I am that already. And that's one
real.
thing in which I set and I make it very clear to my little brother that there is nothing to become. There is nothing to achieve or receive. You already have all of that. You just got to tap into that level of awareness.
You already are what you've been created to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's real. And just going back to like that like what you said, because I was just thinking the other day, like you say, God already had created us in our image, like in the image of his likeness. So it's like, to me, because I was just walking down the street and I'm like, man, people say like there's no such thing as being perfect. But I'm like, we are perfect. God created us in the image that he wanted us to be in. So I'm like, you are perfect. Now, I'm like, we got to be careful on how we define words, because, when you hear the word perfect is like, oh, no mistakes, no this and that. Like, nah, like, God created me in his image, so I am perfect as I am. But perfect doesn't mean I don't go through troubles. Perfect don't mean I don't, have trials and tribulations, you know what I mean? But I am perfect. This is the right situation for me. I am in the perfect situation. Once again, people get it confused. Like, they'll say, well, this situation is not for me, because it's supposed to be a certain things, like love, things like that. It's supposed to be happy times, things like this and that. But it's like, no, you are in the perfect relationship. You are in the perfect business profession that you're supposed to be in. You are, a perfect mom, perfect dad. You know what I mean? Like, it's all on how you look at perfect. You know what I mean? Because perfect to me is like just doing your best. You know what I mean? Like, and giving it your all. You know what I mean? It don't mean not making mistakes. It don't mean, certain things. So
chasing what your heart is telling you,
right?
Not doing what you've been told to do. Going to school, just because you've been told that's what you got to do,
right?
Getting a job because that's just what you've been told to do. And I'm not against jobs at all. I'm for them. I'm for them for helping you put get income to put food on the table, get income to be able to invest outside as well too. And you got to first have the money in order to be able to make investments outside. So I'm definitely for them. But also, I'm for you going out after the 9 to 5. What are you doing after that 9 to 5? From 5 to 9, what are you doing? From 5 to 12, what are you doing? Are you working on your dreams, or are you working on somebody else's dreams?
And let me ask you this, man, because, you always got, like, those mixed pros and cons. Like, I mean, like, I got, like, some family, like, go work. Get steady income. But then, like, I'm big on, like, I always hear ET and, great mentors in my life. They like, once you operate in your gift and you're doing what you're supposed to, the money, it just comes. So, like, how do you find that balance and, like, just trusting in what you're doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just really, once again, tapping into yourself and just...
And, sorry, not to cut you off, because, like, even with the school, like, you brought up the school and the working, just the working, it made me think back. Like, I was just telling the homie the other night, like, school... Like, I remember I was on, I had caught the bus with my son and, we was just rolling. And the dude was like, keep being a great dad. Like, I can just tell you love your kids. I can just tell you're a great dad. You know what I mean? And he was like, you want me to tell you something about school? He said school was invented to condition us. It was to make you get used to working a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's why I'm just asking about like that knowing when to work and then knowing when to chase your dreams, because, like, to me, like I say, like, and I don't know, like, I feel like for me personally, like I'm not gonna say it ain't been ups and downs, but I'm like, God make a way. Like, when I'm doing this, when I'm doing certain things, you know what I'm saying? Like God is providing, you feel me? Because, like, I feel like sometimes, like, you just gotta trust what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because we taking advice, parents saying, go back to work, go do this, go do that. And I remember even with Wealth, he was talking about, like, tug of war, right? Like, all right, go to work. Nah, I really want to start this job. Don't do this. That's not normal. But I really want to do this. You know what I mean? And he like, we find ourselves just playing tug of war with ourselves, and that's what a lot of people doing right now. Definitely. But like, how important is it just to trust what you're doing?
It's everything. Trusting in yourself, trusting in your gut, trusting in your intuition. There's going to be outside sources, especially, I remember when I first got started on entrepreneurship, I was dependent upon my mom. I was dependent upon my stepdad to provide for me. Yet I wanted them to believe into my business. How can I expect somebody to believe into my business, yet I'm dependent on them? So the moment in which I was listening to Gary Vee and he had stated something, upon those lines exactly. So that moment is in 2019 is a moment that I made the decision to never, depend on them for anything again. And as an entrepreneur, you're going to go through trials and tribulations. You're going to go through months and where income is flowing in, like nothing, like in abundance. And then you're going to go through things in months and where, things are dry and clientele not coming in. So The biggest thing is I just, always just bet on myself and just understand that, and don't worry about that. I don't listen to the outside source. I just really listen to self and my sixth sense.
And I like how you say, like, just betting on yourself, you know what I mean? Because it's like I had posted one time, I'm like, people are so quick to go make FanDuel bets, go make MGM bets. Like, right, you're willing to put this money to take this risk, but you're not betting on yourself.
All money in.
Come on. That's why I'm like,
all money in.
Come on, I'm like, y'all didn't hear Nipsey. I'm like, y'all just was listening, right? Like, when he said all money in, like, you got to be all money in. That's why I'm like, people will go, that's why, like, as an entrepreneur and things like that, I always hear people broke, people struggling, but it's like I tell people, like, I'm like, with me, I'll give you a sample. You know what I mean? Like Costco. You can sample something before you buy it. But I'm like, with me, you always going to have to just invest in yourself because it's like, how invested are you in what you're doing? You know what I'm saying? Because I just seen you out at the club. I just seen you buying shoes. I just seen you doing certain things. But like I said, you'll bet on FanDuel. You'll go buy this and that. But when it's time to invest in yourself, you're not doing that. You're not betting on yourself.
Let me tell you the best investment. 2023. Check me out. There ain't going to be no better investment. Not crypto, not credit, not real estate. The best investment anybody can make is an investment in yourself.
Tone, man, like, how important is it, like, because we talked about, like, protecting energy and things like that, but, speak on, like, and then you talked about, like, how could you get your parents to be invested in what you're doing, man. Just speak on, like, how important it is on having the right people around you. Because, like, we were just talking, like, it's 3 people back here. It's 5 of us in this room, and we all invested into this moment, man. You know what I'm saying? Just speak on, like, how important, like, that team factor is.
It's everything. I mean, just dating back to being in the locker room with my team. I mean, I was a part of a 5 consecutive state championship team, and the locker room was everything.
Hey, we would have ate them boys.
Sleep. Promise y'all.
Hey, Mount Point 2013, sleep. They say we the greatest. We the greatest to come through.
I would love to see that game, though. I mean, not even sleep, because, I mean, that would really be a great game. That would be one for the books. That would be one for the decades, truly. I mean,
you not got to talk my stuff, man. Go ahead, go back to your answer. You not got to talk my stuff.
Already. As you should. Y'all deserve it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, y'all. That team was legendary. Yeah, I always give credit where it's due, and that team was legendary. And, yeah, there ain't too many teams like that come across in a decade, so.
Right.
Yeah, what y'all did.
Right, yeah. My fault. Go back to the team aspect. My fault for throwing you off. I just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, I'm already knowing. Yeah, the team aspect is everything. I mean, just it all stems from, I mean, the law of averages. The law of averages is real, and truly we hear this, saying, and it may be cliche. If you hang around 5 broke people, you're going to be the 6th. If you hang around 5 rich and wealthy individuals, you're going to be the 6th as well, too. If you put in the work and if you do, the things in which that they're doing on a day-to-day basis. The law of averages is everything. And, I mean, just thinking about it from a food aspect, I'm real big into my health. And just thinking on fruit. If there's one moldy fruit, in the whole sack, the rest of them gonna get moldy as well too. I mean, that's just your environment right there.
Hey, I always text Tone and be like, "You want a burger?"
Never.
This dude don't eat no meat, no nothing, man.
Nope, can't. Everything is energy. Once again, I only put life into my body.
Right. Now, that's real. And, like, shout out to VO, you know what I'm saying? Vavrix, you know what I'm saying? He killing it, with the music. My uncle, you know what I'm saying? Shout out, he killing it with the music. But, he said on the podcast, he said, toxic food, toxic mind. You know what I mean? Like you say, just putting life into your body. Let me ask you, man, like, you got people who stuck in a rock and a hard place right now, whether that's, a relationship, whether that's with family, whether that's with business, whether that's, everybody's going through something, right? Like they say, you either in a storm, you about to get out of a storm, or you about to go through a storm. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give to those people?
The one in which I give to everybody, disconnect from, the 5 senses in which we've been taught: taste, touch, hear, smell, see. Disconnect from all of them and disconnect from social media. Take a social media break. The moment in which you first wake up, don't check social media. We're so programmed to just waking up, half asleep, bed head, hair stanky, still trying to get on the phone looking at what other people are doing.
Hey, breath stinky.
Yeah, breath stinky. Worrying about what other people are doing. Go get your brush. Go brush your teeth.
Come on.
Go get the eye boogers out, and then worry about what other people. Go read some affirmations. Go get some gratitude in. Go work on you. right? Rather than worrying about what other people are doing right when you wake up, go work on you. Right? I have a social media, law and rule in which I abide by. Right when I wake up, I do not go on social media. I'm tapping into, right away I turn on something positive. I turn on some Tony Robbins. I turn on some Dr. Joe Dispenza. I turn on some Les Brown. All of these greats, to feed my mind positivity.
And let me ask, man, like, why do you think people are so caught up in the negativity? Because I feel like I tell people all the time, like, it's like we're in a world nowadays where negativity is outweighing the positivity. Like, for instance, you got Eric Thomas, who's the #1 motivational speaker in the world. He's made an impact, like nobody will ever make, really. Not saying people to come and, guys like us and stuff, right? Because that's the goal, to make an impact like he has. But, I look at a Justin Borlée. Justin Borlée got 8 million followers. Eric Thomas only got 2. Going back to people rather, the negative is outweighing the positive. You know Definitely. What I mean? Like, why do you think that is, man? Like, why do you think it's like even a story, right? Like, if I post some negative shit, like for instance, if I post some negative shit on my profile, I'm getting like 500 views.
Come on.
I post some positive shit, like 200. Why is that?
I think it's just this false reality in which a lot of people live in, and I think that it's for us to ask that again. Because I had something, but I lost my mind.
I was just asking why do you think like the negativity is outweighing the positivity is what I'm saying.
And that also comes with who people are surrounding themselves with, because people are surrounding themselves with negative people, and it's in media, it's in social media, it's on the news, and that's what they're listening to, and it's on YouTube, it's in the ads. People get so lost up in, once again, I call it the matrix. People get so lost up and caught up in the matrix that they don't worry and they don't work on themselves. They worry about everything else and what everybody else got going on rather than worrying about themselves and their own problems. And that's really the biggest thing. I feel as if it's a matrix, and I feel as if it's a system, and that's what we're programmed to do, and that's what we've been programmed to do. So I feel as if that's why, we got to start changing what's cool as well too. That's the biggest thing.
That's real right there.
That's what I was about to say. We got to start changing what's cool.
What's
cool is you going and reading books. What's cool is you going and studying the ET. What's cool is you waking up and meditating. What's cool is you waking up and praying. What's cool is you doing all these things in which we're taught is lame. We're taught, it is, different. But these are things in which are really cool, and we all got to start working on, which is going to take all of us as a collective to a higher, consciousness and a level of awareness, and which is going to help all of us as a collective truly ascend, is, changing the idea of what's cool, because what's not cool is, having 100 girls, hit you up. That's not cool. What's cool to me now, that I've grown and now that I've gotten to where I've gotten is, having one, a loyal, solid queen with you. If you look at any empire, you always got a strong, solid queen with you as well too, or something in which is built to. So, just changing the idea above all else on what's cool, meditating and, even semen retention.
Right.
We've been taught.
What's crazy, bro? Like I was just telling somebody the other day, I'm like, man, we've gotten to a point to where like you say, like defining what's cool. I'm like, it's to a point where like love ain't cool no more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you a lover boy. Mm-hmm. Oh, you a son. Like, come on, man. Like, love is a beautiful thing.
Mama's boy.
You feel me? Like, you this, you that. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, that's a beautiful thing right there. You know what I mean? Because I can be a lot more things. I can be things that's worse, man. So, like you say, just changing on what's cool and what's not. You know what I mean? Like, man, I love that answer. And, like, I think, too, back to I was watching this interview by Nipsey, and, like, they was asking, like, just about Tekashi and, that time? All right. It was just talking about, what do you do with clowns? And, like, Nipsey was like, you just leave them where they at. Like, nobody's supposed to follow that. You know what I mean? You don't follow a clown. And that's why, like, even with the Justin Borlée, like, I tell people, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I laugh at that stuff. You know what I mean? I see some stuff and I'm like, like, that's funny. But, like, it's like I say, toxic positivity. You laughing at it, but then you start to believe it. Mm-hmm. Well, Hoodville said he got 5, so you laugh and you put it in the group chat, but then you start to be like, wait, is he doing that? Is she doing that? Is she? And, like, just going back to, like the influence and, things like that. And that's why I'm like, even just with this platform, I'm like, man, we have good laughs and, we have things on moment, but I'm like, I'm never going to. It's a certain, like, it's a certain way, like, I'm going to run this platform. It's a certain thing, like, how we going to do it, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, you got too many goofies in this world, and like people following that, and people think that's cool. Like I say, the Hoodvilles, the Justin Borlée, like I say, that shit is hilarious. You know what I mean? Like I get my laugh on sometimes, but I'm like, once again, then you start to let that influence you.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know who they are.
Right. See, there we go.
We talk about some Bruce Lee, some You know, we could go in some Nipsey.
Move like water.
Come on. Be water. Be water.
Be water, my friend.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Stay still.
Nah, man, that's real right there. You know what I mean? And man, like such a, just a dope interview, dope process, man.
Beautiful.
And like I say, man, I just, just appreciate you just, even just taking that time just to, sit down with me and chop game, you know what I mean?
Likewise.
Like, just locking in, man. And, let me ask you, man, before I let you go and stuff, like, where do you see yourself in 5-10 years? What does it look like for Tone?
Definitely.
Whether that's goals, whether that's business adventures, you know what I mean? I'm sure you got things coming.
Definitely. I would say in 5 to 10 years, my mentors always told me, if you help enough people get to where they want, eventually you'll get to where you want and you'll have everything it is that you desire and that you want as well too. So my main thing is just helping at least over 500 6-figure earners, 1,000 5-figure earners, and then also 250 7-figure earners. Right. And then me just being able to live off on my own land, wherever I choose, really is going to be another country. Right. And just being able to live off my own land and being able to provide for self and have my own community. I'm going to have my own ministry, my own church, my own nonprofit, and everything's just going to be in the private, and I'm going to operate in the private. And that's a little bit of the things in which I'm going to be going over in 2023, just to give y'all a little intro to what's to come. I'm about to not so much cover all of the credit information, but more so go over the difference in public and private and how to operate in the private, how to not be using your social security number to acquire lines of credit, but how to use a whole nother foreign EIN number, and, things in which, we're not taught. And once again, everything in which I teach, you can't Google, you can't go and learn in the schooling system. So I'm gonna show you guys how to operate in the private. I'm gonna show you guys how to not worry about taxes. I'm gonna show you guys truly who we are and how to live the way in which our ancestors lived.
Heck yeah. That's real right there, man. Like I like how you was being specific. 250 this, 200 and that just goes to show me, like, you got your goals written down. You know the numbers, and like they say, like, man, no plan, then you plan to fail. You feel me? Like,
check
for
this.
real.
Not to cut you off, but one thing in which, stuck with me and what I want everybody to do if we're looking to, truly create our life is start from the end, because as kids, whenever we got a maze, the smart kids would always start at the end and work their way to the beginning. So with our goals, why are we not, doing our goals the same thing? Why are we not starting at the end and working our way to the beginning? One thing in which I've done for the past 2 years, I've already had 20, 30 goals. Right. So when you ask me this, I've already know it's already been well thought. There's a lot more things and a lot of things in which are going to be added to, and which is going to help all of this come about. I'm going to have real estate. I'm going to have cash flow of, all of these units and everything coming in my credit company. And I'm going to have, hands-free businesses in which I've already got written out. But above all else, the main thing is to operate and live on my own land. But it's already been well thought out. I've already thought, from the end, and I'm working my way now back to the beginning.
I love that. I've never heard nothing like that, and like that's dope. You know what I'm saying? I definitely like that, man. Shoot, any questions you got for me? Anything? I normally don't ask my guests if they got any questions, anything, man. Anything you want to ask me? Anything you want to say before I let you go?
Definitely. What does resiliency mean to you? And when you were, can you think and can you remember the night in which you had came up with resiliency and what triggered that? And, what's your vision with it as well, too, here in the next 5 to 10 years?
Ooh, that's deep, man. My heart's like, man, like, I'm damn near about to get emotional for real on camera just because, first off, just going back to, just hearing the word, from Eric Thomas, you know what I mean? Like, he was telling the story about Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson, because, like, Mike Tyson was at a point in his career, he was just, like, knocking people out, you know what I mean? Like, they say, like, if you didn't catch Mike Tyson fighting the first 20, 30 seconds, he was knocking people out, right? And you got Buster Douglas, right, who nobody believed in. And Buster Douglas' mom died 2 days before the fight. And, like, mind you, like, his mom was going around, my son's going to beat Mike Tyson. And, he telling mom, like, chill, you know what I mean? But, long story short, to sum it all up, Mike Tyson, he was undefeated. And, Buster Douglas gets knocked out and gets saved by the bell. And I'm just going back and I'm summing this all up for those of you who might have not watched this video. But he gets saved by the bell, and then the next he do what nobody thought. He knocks Mike Tyson out. And from that point on, Mike Tyson started losing. And like Eric Thomas reverted it back to if you can just outlast the pain, you can win, right? Like I say, you got this guy Mike Tyson just knocking people out, right? And like I say, after getting beat, you know what I mean? After a few rounds, like I say, Buster Douglas ended up winning, and then Mike Tyson started losing. And just going back to, you know, the whole resiliency thing, man, like I look at my life, man, having every offer in the country by the time I was 14, 15 years old, to losing every offer, to becoming a dad at 17 years old and losing all those offers. Like I said, I remember just people being there for me, and then once I hit rock bottom, nobody was there, right? Nobody was there when I didn't go to Oklahoma and I had to go to junior college and, you know, things like that. And I just remember myself working myself back into shape, right? Like I end up getting heavy, getting diabetes, losing 80 pounds, like, right? Like from having a 1.1 in high school to making honor roll every year in college, like, man, just like, and like, you know, going back to how it all started, like I just remember, like I said, I came home and, you know, I was just going through certain things, man, and, you know, like, it's crazy. Like I said, I'm just like losing the words because like I'm just going back into the moment. But I just remember sitting in my hotel, and I'm like, God, okay, I know you want me to start impacting lives. How do I do that? Because, you know, some of us are called to be preachers. Some of us are called to be certain things. And I was like, how can I make my impact? How can I, you know, impact others, people of our age? How can I do it and keep them entertained and things like this? You know what I mean? Because, like I said, I can sit up here all day and preach the Bible to you. A lot of people might not get that. You know what I mean? But if I can just show people like you, like me, who we got people going through the same things, but they're not talking about these certain things. Like if I can just show people that go through trials and tribulations and they still responding and they still chasing, you know, everything, like I'm like, that's what it's all about for real, you know? And then, you know, just my vision with this, bro, like, man, I plan to be, you know, I remember Peter the Jeweler was like, you know, Papa, you know, for those of you who don't know, my family call me Papa, right? Like I never hear the name The Trail. Like if I hear The Trail, I'm like, who is that? But I'm like, that's me, you know, or, you know, but he was just like, you know, like, you're going to be worldwide. Like, this going to be everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be syndicated nationally and all these things. And, you know, I was just on the phone with the dad. And you remember I was on the phone and I put it on speaker just so you can hear. And he's like, Trell, you're going to impact lives. You know, that same dad called me today and he like, you going to touch lives. Like, you gonna really make an impact. And I'm like, you know, it's crazy. I was just, you know, talking with my mother earlier and we was having the conversations and, you know, she in there just shedding tears, wiping her face up. And like I said, I get that call and he like, Trey, I just want to call and let you know again, like, he like the way you love your kids, things like this. Like, he like, bro, you really gonna impact lives, you know? And I'm like, Mom, I used to tell you this, like, when I was younger, you know, football was just that stepping stool, man. So, like, you know, like I said, I just felt like it was big. Like I said, a lot of people can, you know, relate to, like I say, you know, being high and then, you know, feeling like you on ground zero. So, like I say, if I can just do something to where I can just say something to impact one life, two lives. If it's something you said, whether it's something my guest said, like I said, I hear new things all the time. You know what I'm saying? I hear, like I said, I've heard things tonight that I never heard. Start from the back, go to here. Bet. So then I already know what the vision look like. I'm starting from here and I'm going to there. Like I'm going from A to Z. You know what I mean? I'm going from Z to A. You know what I mean? So, like I say, the whole resiliency, man, is just like I say, like my life, like it's defined by that, able to withstand and recover quickly from difficult conditions. So it go back to Nipsey saying like, never let a hard time humble us.
At all.
Never let a hard time humble us. Like for real, like never let it. And like he said, it was just a motto, just to stick by. Like no matter what, I'm gonna keep pushing. He didn't mean don't be humble. That's not what Nip was saying. He was just saying whatever I go through in this life, I'm going to be here, though. And it just made me think back to sports. You know, coach used to always be like, don't get too high, don't get too low. Just stay even keel. So it's like even when things are going good in my life, I'm still going to be here. Even when things go bad in my life, I'm still going to be here because like it says in the Bible, like we're going to go through things as children of God. You know, you're going to go through things when you're trying to change a world, change a nation, change the way you raise your kids versus on how you was raised. You're going to go through it. So like I say, just sticking to the script, man. Just like I say, just stand resilient, man. And I mean, there's so much more I can say. You know, my story, so just much. Everything, being in the hotel, man, for 4 months, bro, running through all that money, bro, just surviving, being shot at. Like, it's just so much that I've never talked about. But I'm like, if I can continue to grow, and that's why I say, you know, the end, man. But, you know, one thing I will say is, like, it's like I told BJ, you know, even to see him in a wheelchair, I'm like, ain't it crazy how God had used the storm to push purpose out of you?
Come on.
Because if you wasn't in the storm, you wouldn't move. You know what I mean? And that's why I made a video. I was like, you know, you might get caught in the rain, but don't stay there, right? Don't stay in the storm, right? Like, right? And that's why I say, like find somewhere to get dry, right? Go back to your foundation. Go back to certain things, right? And that's why I'm like, man, like if like I'm like in this storm, like I say, being homeless, having been homeless for the last like year and a half, I'm like, I've created businesses. I've made connections. I got down to sit with Giovanni Ruffin, somebody we looked up to since we was kids, right? Like I got to do certain things, and I'm like, it's all just about having faith and like, you know, just believing, bro. You know what I mean? Like that's it, and like that's all I want to do with this. Like, man, it's just, man, have people to get belief, because like I say, we go through things, we go through heartbreak, we go through hard times, and we just give up. Or we be down for months, and that's the thing I love about resilient. It says able to withstand or recover quickly. That's my favorite part of it. It's quickly. Mm-hmm. You don't got time. Like I don't got time to sit here and worry about this. My car break down. I'm on the bus now. You ask my ask Chef Dave. I caught the bus to him. I don't care because ain't nothing stopping. Come on.
Champions adjust.
Come on. Ain't nothing stopping me. You know what I mean? And I always say, I jokingly say, and it's the last thing I say, man. I always jokingly say, I said the only way they can stop me is if I stop breathing. That's it. Other than that, it's always gonna be one foot in front of the other for me.
Period. So. One step forward, keep going. That's it.
That's it, man.
Break by break.
Come on. And Tone, man, like I say, man, this is powerful. Like I say, we're going to be looking on this in 5-10 years and be like, you remember when we said that? You remember when Robbie was here, Kaylani was here? Now they got their own crew, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, it's 10, 15 people in here. It's bigger lights, brighter stage, you know what I mean? All that, you know, but, man, in love with the pressure. You know, but man, I just want to say, man, thank you. You know, thank you for coming and sitting down with me, man. Thank you for, you know, trusting and believing in what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like I say all the time, it felt different when your people behind you. Yeah, you know, I didn't make money off of this. I didn't make money from people I don't know, families from out of the state that found me off hashtags and things like that. But it feel different when your people invest in what you're doing, man. Like it's a total different feeling, man. So I truly appreciate you, bro, for real.
Man, it's completely different, and I just want to leave y'all with this. This is a one of one. Creditgotti times Natrell Curtis. The Resiliency Cam, y'all ain't gonna see nothing like this. And it's just a first of many. And it's gonna be something to be remembered for decades. This is gonna be something in which is gonna help many of you guys have those breakthroughs in which you guys are looking for. You guys are seeking those breakthroughs. You guys are, you know, you guys keep pushing. You guys are working so hard, but you feel like you're running in a circle. You know, tap into Resiliency Podcast. Get yourself, you know, a slot filled as well too, because Resiliency Podcast is going up. You know, price ain't gonna be the same tomorrow. I promise you that. You know, price is going up. You know, after this video alone, I promise you the numbers that it's about to do, everything like, it's going up.
Yesterday's price ain't today's price.
Come on.
Yeah, yesterday's price ain't today's price.
Come
period.
On. That's it.
Mic drop.
Come on. And we out of here. I appreciate you, Tom.
Appreciate you.
For real. Already.
Love.
Man,
Yes, sir.
we out.